Good, happy Thursday evening, February 11, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Thursday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday evening, so let's begin. First up, let's begin with your COVID-19 updates. Let's take a look at the COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. And here's a look at those COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. There are 68,918 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. There are 1,109 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire, and 159 current number of hospitalizations for COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And that is a look at your COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. One more Granite Stater dies of COVID-19. Current case steady. One more Granite Stater has died of COVID-19, aimed at continuing signs that the rate of the coronavirus infection is slowing. Health officials said Thursday a Hillsborough County man age 60 or older died of COVID-19. The death was not connected to a long-term care facility. UNH shifts to online classes only after spike in COVID-19 cases. Other restrictions in place on Durham campus to try to stem surge. Let's take a listen to that video from Wmur News 9, Jennifer Crompton.
We're celebrating President's Day all month long at Bentley Chevrolet. Buy a new 2020 Chevy Equinox all-wheel drive SUV. Get monumental savings all month long at Bentley Chevrolet, the neighborhood dealer who treats you like family.
Classes resumed on the Durham campus of UNH on February 1st, and the university's robust COVID testing program is tracking a dramatic spike in cases, from 17 on February 4th to 82 cases yesterday. Put into context, UNH had 981 positive cases over 6 months, from late July to late January, and 239 in just the last 6 days. That's over 18% of all cases in under a week. The town of Durham itself seeing a similar spike.
College students like to get together, and I think we're seeing some of that happening under the radar, and that's concerning.
As a result, administration is imposing tighter restrictions, shifting from yellow to the orange mode of operation. All courses transition to fully online. Gatherings limited to 6 people. Students living on campus can't visit other on-campus halls or apartments. Students living off-campus can't either. Off-campus students can't opt to isolate or quarantine on campus because there's not enough space now. And the pilot program for allowing some hockey spectators is postponed.
That will send a very strong signal to the UNH student body that if they hope to be able to remain on campus and in classes, they're going to need to adhere to these strict physical distancing requirements.
Now, officials believe that the spike is evidence of COVID fatigue as opposed to any super spreader event. They say they'll be watching the test results at least for the next week, and so they will remain in orange mode for at least that amount of time in hopes that those numbers go down. We're live in Portsmouth. Jennifer Crompton, Wmur News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Circuit Court judge arrested after accusations of altering orders. Judge Julie Intersco faces 2 felony and 3 misdemeanor charges. Let's take a listen to that video from Wmur News 9.
We're celebrating President's Day all month long at Fettley Chevrolet. Buy a new 2020 Chevy Equinox all-wheel drive SUV. Get monumental savings all month long at Fettley Chevrolet, the neighborhood dealer who treats you like family.
The state attorney general's office announcing today this judge was arrested on felony and misdemeanor charges. She will soon face court arraignment, but a date has not yet been set. 56-year-old Judge Julie Introcaso of Bedford has been charged with 2 counts of falsifying evidence, 2 counts of tampering with public records, and 1 count of unsworn falsification. She's a circuit court judge in Nashua. The charges stem from a Judicial Conduct Committee report that was filed against her in October, accusing her of altering court paperwork with whiteout. That complaint says she oversaw a child custody case and signed off on recommendations related to the guardian ad litem's fees and payment method. The complaint says Introcaso was friends with that attorney and signed the order without reading it. Documents say Introcaso later recused herself from the case, but once the Judicial Committee opened a report against her, she's accused of using whiteout to alter the court orders. In that report, Judge Introcaso denied whiting out her orders. The Judicial Conduct Committee will hold a hearing related to this case next week. Reporting live, Mike Cronin, Wmur News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Manchester Boston Regional Airport could expand cargo traffic. Developer has plans to add 100,000 square feet of cargo space. Let's take a listen to that video from
We're
Wmur
celebrating
News
President's
9.
Day all month long at Fettley Chevrolet. Buy a new 2020 Chevy Equinox all-wheel drive SUV. Get monumental savings all month long at Fettley Chevrolet, the neighborhood dealer who treats you like family.
This is what is currently here at the Manchester-Boston Regional Airport. And this is what it could look like in a few years. The airport is partnering with a development firm that could add 100,000 square feet of cargo space, effectively doubling what is currently there. First, though, comes finding a tenant.
The developer is very bullish on the prospects of getting a tenant because the distribution network is so saturated here in New England, and we're perfectly situated as an airport to capture that.
The construction will start once that tenant is secured. And with the airport sitting within a duty-free import zone, it's possible the carrier could come from overseas, although that would mean adding additional Customs and Border Patrol agents.
But that is something that we are interested in pursuing, the international cargo angle. So absolutely.
While this obviously represents a boon for cargo operations here at the airport, the future impact of COVID on passenger flights, well, that's a question that remains very much up in the air.
I think what's hurting us right now is this whole concept of the CDC requiring a negative test for domestic travel.
Even though that is just in the discussion stage right now, Kitchens believes it is having a chilling effect. Still, he says there are some hopeful signs that consumer confidence is coming back, and he believes the demand is there. But having passenger traffic back to pre-pandemic levels will depend on state regulations regarding quarantines and...
I think really the final arbiter of this is going to be the pace of the vaccinations.
Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire Senate passes Right to Work Bill 13-11 in near party line vote. Republican Carson joins Senate Democrats in opposition. All other Senate Republicans in favor. New Hampshire COVID-19 vaccine card information. How, when, where to get your first and second dose. Let's take a listen to that video.
We're celebrating President's Day all month long at Bentley Chevrolet. Buy a new 2020 Chevy Equinox all-wheel drive SUV. Get monumental savings all month long at Bentley Chevrolet, the neighborhood dealer who treats you like family.
Everyone had to come to the table to create these vaccines. We have researchers, the vaccine manufacturers, the federal government, all coming together to make these vaccines available and hopefully help to control this pandemic.
One of the reasons we have these vaccines available now much more quickly than we have in the past is that the federal government has funded a number of pharmaceutical companies to be not only developing and studying these new vaccines, but also manufacturing and producing them at the same time so that when they got authorization for use, we had product available.
Okay, and there you go.
Even though these vaccines have...
And that does it for your vaccine information. Oops. So, today was, the Trump impeachment trial information, and here is the latest information for all of you. It was day 2 of Trump impeachment trial. Raskin says Senate will set terrible standard if Trump's acquitted. Negus argues that the First Amendment does not cover Trump's actions. Trump lawyer says former president is very upbeat, but offered to be tied to riots. Rioter left threatening note for Pence. Justice is coming. Trump tweeted attack on Pence as VP was on lockdown inside a chamber. And those are the latest headlines from day 2 of the Trump impeachment trial. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your evening. See you back here tomorrow for another broadcast. And I'll have News Report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye, everyone.